Good afternoon. My name is Rich Keener. I'm the village manager for the Village of Villa Park, and today is another one of our segments for the upcoming board meetings. So today, what we'll be talking about is the board meeting and the committee of the whole meeting for Monday, August 24th. So let's dig in. Let's start. So the first item on the committee of the whole, which starts at 7:30, and then immediately after the committee of the whole, the formal board agenda commences. So at 7:30, Monday, August 24th, we'll start with the committee of the whole agenda. So number 1 is the call to order. Number 2 is Pledge of Allegiance. Number 3 is amendments of the agenda. Number 4 is appointments and reappointments to boards and commissions. So Monday we'll have Peter Wren as a reappointment to Traffic and Safety Commission. Number 5 is Schools Open presentation by Police Chief Bob Pavlicek. And what we're going to do is, through that particular item, Chief Pavlicek is going to discuss some of the protocols for the school crossings, and obviously there's no talking on your cell phone, no texting, and we happen to notice that a lot in school zones and in some parts of the village where folks will still be on their cell phones or they'll be texting, and doing that in a school zone is particularly very dangerous. So Chief Pavlicek is going to go through some safety tips for this time of year. So school, I believe at Willbrook High School has already started, so I think Jackson and Jefferson start next week. So I think it's a good time we kind of go over some protocols. So that's what Chief Bob's going to do. So number 6 on the committee of the whole for Monday night is to consider an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing notice to consider the involuntary annexation of certain territory, which are 2N151, 2N141, 909 North Avenue. Staff is seeking annexation of 4 parcels on North Avenue. North Ardmore. This item is the intent to annex ordinance. The next step is to provide public notice as required and consider annexation of these parcels on September 28, 2015. And folks, why this is being brought forward is because the board and staff and public had the strategic plan meeting about a year and a half ago. And through the strategic planning process, it was noted as one of the priorities for staff to move towards annexation of unincorporated parcels within the village. And what happened with these particular parcels is there was a fire in one of those parcels there, and our fire department responded, and lo and behold, it was unincorporated, and then another fire district responded, and so we just wanted to clarify who's supposed to respond, and those parcels are within the Village of Villa Park, and this is up by Target off of North Avenue, and so we're going to ask the board if they would like staff to proceed and annex those properties into the Village of Villa Park. So if anything happens in the future, we know exactly who's supposed to respond for the fires or the police or anything of that nature. So number 7 is to consider a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the proposed renovation of Cortese Memorial Park and a proposal for park design and construction management services from 3D Design Studio. Staff is requesting approval to renovate Cortese Memorial Park. Renovations include the relocation and construction of a new memorial on the south end of the park, adding sidewalks along the east and west perimeters, relocating the south sidewalk, leveling the turf, installation of an irrigation system, and new plant materials. Project not to exceed $195,985. Construction costs are $183,000. Design and construction management costs $12,985. The Recreation Commission unanimously recommends the renovation of this park. And folks, while the reason we're bringing this forward is we always want to improve our parks. But when we held the centennial celebration in the Cortese Park area, we received so many positive resident compliments about that particular area and wanting to use that area for future events that staff is moving forward now to rehab the memorial. So what we want to do is switch it from the north side of the park to the south side of the park. And we actually provided some renderings to the VFW so that the veterans could look at the renderings, pick out what they would like the memorial to be aesthetic-wise, location-wise, and so they did that. The veterans of the VFW actually chose how they wanted their memorial to look and what it was made of and etc. So it's kind of exciting to see that done. So what we really would like happen is the memorial to be moved to the south side of the park, right next to Kenilworth, so when people drive by, you can take a look at all the different branches. It's being proposed that each branch, Army, Marines, etc., will have their own flagpole. It'll be limestone. There'll still be the plaques for each, or bronze medallion for each of the branches. And we're going to try to put the name of each individual that happened to be killed in the line of duty in the memorial. And that was a request by the veterans. So that's, I think, a change from what we have right now at the memorial. So it's very exciting. But doing this, moving the memorial from the north side of the park to the south side of the park, helps bring folks to that area to make it more economically viable for South Villa. And I say that because we're right now redoing the old depot building that's been closed for a number of years. And what we want to do is have like our bike club, our new Villa Park Bike Club, meet at the depot building, or maybe a running club use the depot building, or maybe we can rent it out for Senior Citizens Commission to come over, or anybody that would like to have maybe a wedding reception there or a birthday celebration. And then, even if we wanted to have a band like we did for the celebration for the centennial, we could have a band at the depot building, and then all of the seating would be in Cortese Park. And so you could watch the band and take advantage of the great landscaping and the trees, and then the memorial would be behind the folks, so you could see it from Kenilworth and visit it that way. So it's a very positive change for the park and the community. It's very exciting, and so we're happy to move forward with that. So I hope you're very pleased, and so please tune in Monday and kind of listen to the options that'll be explained about the park. So that is number 7 for the Committee of the Whole for Monday night. And number 8 is convene to the formal agenda. So folks, that's a pretty quick agenda. Normally we don't have that short of an agenda. But so now, as I said, the Committee of the Whole comes first at 7:30. Now we're going into the regular formal agenda right after the Committee of the Whole. So number 1 on the agenda for Monday night, August 24th, is the Village President's Report. And that's the appropriate time for President Bullwinkle to kind of give us an update on what's been happening in her role as village president since the last time we met. So it could be telephone calls, it could be emails. She may have questions for staff, or maybe she went to a seminar and would like to explain some exciting news from that. So number 2 is public comments on the agenda items. And that would be the appropriate time for citizens in the audience to come forward and ask questions of items that are on the agenda themselves. Number 3 is amendments of the agenda, and that's the appropriate time for the president or board of trustees to amend the agenda. Could be separate something out to vote separately, change some wording, ask staff, why is it written this way? And again, that's the appropriate time to do that. Number 3, amendments of the agenda. Number 4 is consent agenda. So what we have is A, the bill listing dated August 24, 2015, in the amount of $1,133,959.50. B, minutes from the Village Committee of the Whole meeting held on August 10, 2015. Minutes, C, minutes from the Village Formal Board meeting for August 10, 2015. And that's it for number 4 for the consent. So 5 for the formal board meeting for Monday night is first and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing notice to consider the involuntary annexation of certain territory located at 2N151, 2N141, 909 North Avenue. And as I mentioned earlier at the Committee of the Whole portion, these are located off North Avenue near Target. Staff is seeking annexation of 4 parcels on North Avenue. I'm sorry, North Ardmore. I said North Avenue last time also, so I'm sorry, that's North Ardmore. This item is the intent to annex ordinance. The next step is to provide public notice as required and consider annexation of these parcels on September 28, 2015. So moving on to number 6 for the formal agenda is resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the proposed renovation of Cortese Memorial Park and a proposal for park design and construction management services from 3D Design Studio. And just so you know, folks, we've used 3D Design Studio on numerous projects, especially the skate park and the park amenities, if you will, at the community building, Iowa Community Center. So, and they've done a wonderful job. And also right now they're helping us with our Park and Recreation Master Plan. So 3D Design Studio has worked with us in the past and has done a very nice job. So staff is requesting approval to renovate Cortese Memorial Park. Renovations include the relocation and construction of a new memorial on the south end of the park, adding sidewalks along the east and west perimeters, relocating the south sidewalk, leveling the turf, installation of an irrigation system and new plant materials. Project not to exceed $195,985. Construction costs are $183,000. Design and construction management costs are $12,985. The Recreation Commission unanimously recommends the renovation of this park. And folks, we'll move on to number 7, which is a motion to authorize the village manager to enter into lease agreements for village property so long as they do not exceed a term of 2 years, with such terms and conditions as negotiated by the village manager. So folks, number 7 is that we happen to own some public land on North Avenue, and we have an individual who would like to use some of that public land as a parking lot for a 3-day event. It's like an overflow parking. And so we want to make sure that the board's aware of that, and the board's fine with using some of our public lands that are actually trying to be in our process of being sold, so we can use that to help businesses be successful. So it's a pro-business approach, just to use the public surplus land as a parking lot for a few days to help them out, so for their event. So that's what that's about. 8 is public comments on non-agenda items. And folks, that's the appropriate time for citizens in the audience to come forward and ask questions of the Board of Trustees, the President, the staff, on items that are not on the agenda. Number 9 is the Village Clerk's report. So that's the appropriate time for Village Clerk Kornecki to kind of give us an overview of what's been happening in the clerk's role in the last few weeks. And Clerk Kornecki is also the president of our local Kiwanis Club, so she may have some information about that. I know that peanut sales is coming up, so and we do that as Kiwanians, or we also help out ringing bells during Christmas time with the Salvation Army, so she sometimes talks about that. Number 10 is the Village Trustees report, and that's the appropriate time for the trustees to bring things up that's happened in their roles as trustees in the last couple of weeks. That could be attending a commission meeting, they could be asking questions of staff, or maybe they just received an email that they want to read into the public record. 11 is the village manager's report, so at that time I would give an update what's been happening in my role, and it could be a legislative initiative that's happening in Springfield. It could be something to do with rainfall, snowfall. I try to make it interesting and relate to everyone. So that's some of the items that I may talk about. And so number 12 is the village attorney's report, and that would be the appropriate time for village attorney or Binninger to kind of give us an update on what's happening in their roles. And it could be legislative activities, particularly in Springfield. We're really paying attention to the state budget and what might happen to our local distributive funds or the MFT tax. And of course, the state budget is not yet finalized also. So we kind of watch that. Number 13, believe it or not, is adjournment. So Monday, August 24th, the formal agenda and the committee of the whole agenda are rather short, but I would expect there to be some considerable discussion of the annexation and the Cortese Park, both exciting items. So please tune in or come and listen in person to what's going to be said by staff and maybe residents or the board. So it's not every day that we do the annexation, and it's not every day that we'll do the memorial either for the veterans. So kind of exciting topics. But you know, speaking of topics, we also have some events in the Village of Villa Park. You know, some of the events that just went by, you know, the bike race was held recently. But what's coming up is the Villa Park Police Benevolent Fund golf outing. So that's going to be on Friday, August 21st at Sugar Creek Golf Course at 2 p.m. So that's a great event, you know, fundraising, golf outing for the police benevolent. So Friday, August 21st, don't forget about the VFW Fish Fry. That happens every Friday. Delicious. But you have to get there early because sometimes it's so delicious it sells out. So you have to get there early. Saturday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. is St. Alexander's Church Wrestling. So this is at the Parish Hall, and it's featuring Turkish Terror, Mad Mustafa in the main event. Tickets are $10 for the adults, $5 for children. It should be very interesting, so hope to see you there. Again, that's Saturday, August 22nd, 7 p.m., St. Alexander's Church Wrestling event. Again, it's Turkish Terror, Mad Mustafa in the main event. Sunday, August 23rd, we have the car show, and it's a night car show, so it's 4 to 8 p.m. at Cortese Park, and that's every Sunday night. Sunday night car show. And folks, it's beautiful. We've got a lot of participants. They line up the cars, so come on out and take a look at them. We have our SALT meeting at the Wildwood Community Center coming up, and that's on September 9th at 11 a.m. And that's Jewel Osco Pharmacy presentation on adult immunization. Free flu shots available via Medicare. Lunch by Villa Park Senior Concerns Commission. So that's 11 a.m., September 9th, at the building at Wildwood Community Center. So Oktoberfest is coming up too. Can you believe it? It just seems like we had, school getting out in May and June. So Oktoberfest, September 11th, 12th, and 13th. It's at the Lions Park. And we'll be having details coming soon, and so you can take a look at our website for that. Mari, our PIO officer, will probably be distributing all kinds of information through Facebook, tweets, and things of that nature also. But that's a huge event for us here, too, in Villa Park. And so we have another one, too. Kids can be an officer, either a police officer or a firefighter, sponsored by Villa Park Parks and Recreation Commission. So be a firefighter on September 29th at 5 p.m. Be a police officer on November 14th at 8 p.m. And it's for children from 4 to 12 years old. So it's $7 or $5 for siblings if parents stay, $5. It's a 45-minute program for each. So that's, for a firefighter, that's on September 29th at 5 p.m. Police officer on November 14th at 8 p.m. And again, that's kids can be a police officer and firefighter for a number of hours. So, folks, we have a lot of things happening in Villa Park. So please take advantage of these great things. And I hope you're out using the Prairie Path having fun. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we have the Paws on the Prairie Path coming up too. And that's going to be, I believe, in September. So take advantage of this great weather. It's not 90. I think today's about 82 or so, and it's got a cool breeze. So again, my name is Rich Keener. It's my honor to be the Village of Villa Park's village manager. So take care, and we'll see you soon.